Let me start with a number that surprises many of my patients. By the time men reach 60, over 30% are dealing with clinically low testosterone. That percentage continues climbing as years go by, but there's something important that often gets overlooked. When testosterone drops, it's not just about losing muscle mass or experiencing reduced libido. The effects show up as persistent fatigue, unexpected mood swings, disrupted sleep patterns, and mental cloudiness. Too many men end up blaming themselves, thinking they're simply getting old. But the aging process doesn't have to mean giving up your energy, motivation, or that sense of being fully alive. What if something as straightforward as incorporating specific fruits into your daily routine could support your hormones in scientifically validated ways? That's exactly what we're exploring today. We'll examine 3 particular fruits that clinical studies have shown can help maintain testosterone levels, decrease inflammation, and boost cellular energy, particularly for men beyond 60. Now, I understand you might be skeptical. Can dietary choices really create meaningful change? The answer, backed by extensive research spanning decades, is a resounding yes. These fruits aren't substitutes for hormone therapy or comprehensive lifestyle modifications, but they function as supportive partners in your ongoing effort to combat oxidative stress, hormonal decline, and chronic exhaustion. Unfortunately, this type of guidance is rare when you're browsing social media. Instead, you'll encounter bewildering supplement recommendations, overstated promises, and occasionally dangerous suggestions. That's precisely why having this conversation matters. You deserve straightforward information, not misleading noise. Today, we'll examine the science, explaining how testosterone actually functions after 60, how certain fruits can provide support, and the manageable daily adjustments that can rebuild energy and vitality without sensationalism or anxiety. We'll also address widespread misconceptions, like the notion that testosterone only matters for sexual function or that eating fruit increases estrogen. I'll show you what actual research demonstrates. Let's approach this the way I would with any patient in my office, with genuine care, solid evidence, and complete acceptance. This isn't about shortcuts. It's about providing your body with proper support and giving you the understanding you've earned. Let me explain this the way I would during a clinic consultation. When men learn their testosterone is low after reaching 60, most assume it's simply part of getting older. But aging isn't the root cause, it's merely the backdrop. Research reveals that testosterone levels start declining around ages 30 to 35, dropping roughly 1% annually. However, for numerous men, this decline speeds up because of additional factors that are frequently hidden, persistent, and building over time. What's truly driving low testosterone in men past 60? Let's examine 3 primary contributors. Persistent inflammation stands as the first culprit. This inflammation represents your body's protective response, but when it remains activated indefinitely, it begins disrupting your internal equilibrium. A 2020 review in Frontiers in Endocrinology discovered that increased levels of inflammatory markers such as IL-6 and TNF-alpha strongly correlate with diminished testosterone production in aging men. The reason? Inflammation impacts the Leydig cells within your testicles, which are the actual cells producing testosterone. Picture them as miniature hormone manufacturing plants. When they're surrounded by inflammatory conditions, they either slow their output or cease production entirely. The second major factor is insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome. This represents a significant issue. Research from Harvard and the NIH consistently demonstrates that men experiencing insulin resistance, typically resulting from inadequate nutrition, insufficient physical activity, or excessive belly fat, show markedly lower testosterone levels. The relationship works both ways. Low testosterone makes insulin sensitivity worse, and insulin resistance further decreases testosterone. It creates a hormonal struggle with your energy, sleep quality, and sexual drive caught in the crossfire. Oxidative stress forms the third contributor. This involves cellular deterioration caused by unstable molecules known as free radicals. Gradually, oxidative stress damages various tissues, including the testes and the hypothalamus, which serves as your brain's hormone command center. Think of oxidative stress like corrosion. It accumulates quietly, but compromises everything from your blood vessels to your hormone communication pathways. Here's where nutrition, specifically fruit consumption, becomes relevant. Whole fruits contain abundant antioxidants, anti-inflammatory substances, and phytonutrients that directly address these underlying problems. Rather than viewing fruit simply as sugar, consider it a tactical resource, something that calms inflammation, restores metabolic equilibrium, and safeguards your hormonal systems. Let me address a common misunderstanding. Many men have encountered claims that consuming fruit elevates estrogen or reduces testosterone. That misconception stems from misinterpreted rodent experiments or sensationalized online content, not from clinical evidence. Actually, certain fruits, as we'll discover, enhance testosterone indirectly by improving nitric oxide production, lowering stress hormones like cortisol, and protecting testicular cells. This pattern appears frequently in my practice. Men adopt extreme eating approaches, eliminating carbohydrates or fruits, then wonder why they feel progressively worse. The human body isn't a simple machine that merely processes calories. It's a precisely coordinated hormonal system, and that system requires appropriate inputs, including antioxidants, beneficial fats, and essential micronutrients. Here's the essential point from this opening discussion. Low testosterone after 60 occurs frequently, but isn't unavoidable. While aging plays a part, the primary drivers are lifestyle-related and addressable. When we decrease inflammation, enhance insulin sensitivity, and protect hormone-producing cells, as we enable the body to reestablish balance, our daily food choices, especially the appropriate fruits, can either increase the burden or help reduce it. Now let's examine the first fruit supported by compelling clinical research for maintaining testosterone levels and cardiovascular wellness. It's red, succulent, and considerably more potent than most men understand. Let's begin with a fruit often described as nature's nitric oxide enhancer, the pomegranate. Pomegranates don't typically come to mind when men consider testosterone support, but scientific evidence strongly suggests they should. Here's what studies reveal. In a 2012 randomized trial published in Endocrine Abstracts, healthy men consuming pomegranate juice daily for 2 weeks showed an average 24% increase in salivary testosterone. That's substantial, but equally significant. They also experienced lower blood pressure, decreased cortisol levels, and enhanced mood. How does a single fruit accomplish all that? Let's explore the underlying mechanisms. Pomegranates are abundant in polyphenols, particularly punicalagins and ellagic acid. These compounds possess powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. They help shield the Leydig cells in the testes, which are responsible for testosterone production from oxidative damage. But there's more. Pomegranate also boosts nitric oxide availability, a gas molecule your body produces to relax blood vessels and enhance circulation. Why does this matter? Because improved blood flow benefits more than your cardiovascular system. It also supports erectile function, maintains testicular health, and improves nutrient delivery to hormone-producing tissues. There's also an important relationship between testosterone and cortisol, your primary stress hormone. When cortisol remains chronically elevated, it suppresses the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis, the hormonal pathway governing testosterone production. Pomegranate appears to lower cortisol in ways that release the suppression, allowing testosterone to rise naturally. Here's something most men don't realize. Pomegranate also offers prostate protective benefits. A 2006 study published in Clinical Cancer Research found that men with rising PSA levels who consume pomegranate extract experience significant slowing in PSA doubling time, which serves as a marker for prostate cancer progression. The mechanisms likely involve anti-inflammatory effects and prevention of oxidative DNA damage. To summarize, it enhances nitric oxide for better circulation. It reduces cortisol, decreasing testosterone suppression. It protects Leydig cells, improving hormone production. It may even slow prostate growth and PSA elevation. That's considerable benefit from one fruit. How should you actually incorporate it? Fresh pomegranate arils, those ruby-like seeds, make an excellent choice. A half cup daily provides a substantial dose of antioxidants. You can sprinkle them on oatmeal, blend them into smoothies, or enjoy them alone as a snack. You can also use 100% pomegranate juice. Just monitor serving sizes. About 4 to 6 ounces daily is sufficient to gain benefits without consuming excessive natural sugars. If you're taking medications for blood pressure or blood thinners, consult your doctor. as pomegranate can mildly influence medication metabolism in certain cases. Here's a straightforward comparison I share with my patients. Think of pomegranate as your circulatory multivitamin. It's like a gentle tune up for your blood vessels, your hormones, and even your prostate. And it tastes good, which genuinely helps because the most effective health habits are ones you'll consistently maintain. Next, we'll shift focus and discuss a very different type of fruit, one that's creamy, rich in fat, and frequently misunderstood, yet essential for hormone synthesis. The remarkable avocado. Let's transition from something tart and juicy to something smooth and rich, the avocado. Most people don't categorize avocados as fruit, but they are, and for men over 60, they represent one of the most powerful hormone-supportive foods available. Why? It's because testosterone is synthesized from cholesterol, not the harmful kind that blocks arteries, but the type your body uses as building material to create steroid hormones like testosterone, DHEA, and cortisol. Avocados provide an ideal fat profile to support this process. Here's what research demonstrates. A 2019 review in the Journal of Clinical Lipidology highlights how monounsaturated fats, the kind abundant in avocados, are associated with higher free testosterone levels, particularly when combined with reduced intake of trans fats and refined carbohydrates. Monounsaturated fat isn't merely fuel. It's a signaling molecule. It helps activate enzymes in the tests that transform cholesterol into testosterone. It also decreases inflammation and enhances insulin sensitivity, both crucial for maintaining optimal hormonal function. And there's more. Avocados are rich in vitamin B6, which supports dopamine and testosterone production. Vitamin E acts as an antioxidant and protects testicular tissue. Magnesium enhances free testosterone by reducing SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin. Let me elaborate on that last point. SHBG is a protein that binds to testosterone in the bloodstream, making it unavailable to your cells. Think of it as wrapping your testosterone in tape. It exists, but your body can't access it. Magnesium helps decrease HBG, liberating more active testosterone. One modest study in biological trace element research found that older men who supplemented with magnesium experienced significant increases in free testosterone, especially when combined with regular physical activity. And avocados rank among the best natural magnesium sources in the fruit category. Now, I frequently hear this concern from patients: I won't consuming all that fat raise my cholesterol. Here's what evidence shows. Avocados can actually lower LDL, the problematic cholesterol, while raising HDL, the beneficial kind. In fact, a 2015 study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that eating one avocado daily improved lipid profiles in overweight adults without increasing total cholesterol. So you're not only supporting your hormones, you're protecting your cardiovascular health simultaneously. Let's discuss practical application. Here's how to incorporate avocado in testosterone supportive ways: half an avocado at breakfast alongside eggs or in a smoothie. Mashed avocado on whole grain toast, topped with seeds or greens. Sliced avocado atop grilled salmon or chicken for lunch or dinner, or simply a few pieces with olive oil and sea salt as an easy snack. Because avocados are high in fat, they're also very satisfying, helping to prevent overeating, stabilize blood sugar, and minimize energy crashes. Let me dispel a quick myth here. Fat doesn't cause weight gain. Poor metabolic signaling, excessive sugar consumption, and chronic inflammation do. A healthy fat like that in avocados actually helps your body burn fat more efficiently by balancing hormones. And remember, testosterone isn't only about sexual function. It's about energy, mood, bone density, and even cognitive function. Supporting it with real food like avocado is one of the most gentle and sustainable approaches you can take. Next, we'll address a fruit that's packed with antioxidants and frequently misunderstood by men, berries specifically. We'll debunk the myth that they raise estrogen and demonstrate why they might actually be protecting your testosterone and your prostate. Let's discuss berries. Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, they're sweet, vibrant, and too often feared by men who've been told they raise estrogen. This is one of the most prevalent myths I encounter, especially in online discussions. But let's clarify things, because the reality is not only different, it's empowering. Here's what research shows. Berries rank among the most antioxidant-dense foods available. They're rich in anthocyanins, flavonoids, and ellagic acid, compounds that do far more than just add color to your fruit bowl. They actively protect your testicular tissue, reduce inflammation, and improve blood vessel function. A 2016 study in the Journal of Nutrition and Biochemistry found that anthocyanins in berries help protect Leydig cells from oxidative damage, preserving testosterone production in aging rats. Similar findings appear in human research showing how berry-rich diets lower inflammatory markers associated with hormonal disruption. What about the estrogen myth? Here's the source of confusion. Certain plants contain phytoestrogens, plant-based compounds that can weakly attach to estrogen receptors. But phytoestrogens are not equivalent to estrogen, and they don't feminize men. In fact, many function as selective estrogen receptor modulators, which can actually block harmful forms of estrogen while supporting hormonal balance. The concern originates mostly from soy, not berries, and even there, the worry is frequently exaggerated. Berries specifically contain very minimal phytoestrogens, and what they do provide is protective, not disruptive. There is no clinical evidence that consuming berries raises estrogen levels or lowers testosterone in men. In fact, they may do the opposite. Let me explain with a comparison I use with patients. Think of testosterone like a delicate flame. Oxidative stress and inflammation are like wind and rain trying to extinguish it. Berries are like the glass shield that protects that flame and helps it burn longer. Another advantage berries help with insulin sensitivity. Insulin resistance is one of the silent threats to testosterone. When blood sugar is poorly controlled, testosterone production slows. But a 2017 study in Food and Function found that daily berry consumption improved fasting glucose, insulin sensitivity, and blood vessel function. All vital for testosterone health. Additionally, berries support brain health, which is tightly connected to hormonal regulation. Remember, testosterone production begins in the hypothalamus, a part of your brain. If brain inflammation is elevated, hormone signaling decreases. So how can you incorporate berries in hormone-supportive ways? A handful of blueberries in Greek yogurt, a mixed berry smoothie with spinach, protein, and flaxseed, raspberries on top of oatmeal or chia pudding, frozen berries blended into a testosterone-friendly dessert with dark chocolate and avocado. And yes, frozen berries are equally nutritious, often even more so because they're flash frozen at peak ripeness. If you're concerned about fruit sugar, here's something reassuring. Berries are among the lowest glycemic fruits, meaning they don't spike your blood sugar. They're full of fiber, which slows digestion and helps maintain stable energy. One more note, berries may also support prostate health. Research from the American Urological Association has linked high antioxidant intake from berries to lower rates of prostate enlargement and inflammation. While more studies are needed, the early data is promising. To recap, berries don't raise estrogen, they support hormonal balance. They protect testosterone, producing cells from damage. They improve insulin sensitivity, brain function, and prostate health. If you've been avoiding berries because of outdated myths, it might be time to welcome them back into your diet because, again, this isn't about achieving perfection. It's about making small, informed changes that support your body as it ages without fear or confusion. Up next, we're going to step back and address a broader concern. Is fruit sugar harming your hormones? We'll explore fructose versus processed sugar and the difference your body recognizes better than most people realize. This next topic is something I hear constantly, especially from men trying to improve their diet. They say they've eliminated all fruit because they heard the sugar destroys testosterone. Let's take a moment and examine what the science actually says, because while it's accurate that excessive sugar can disrupt hormones, not all sugar is the same, and your body recognizes the difference between whole fruit and processed sweeteners. Let me break this down as I would during a clinic visit. First, the concern about fructose, the natural sugar present in fruit. Yes, fructose in large quantities can be problematic, but the crucial words here are quantities and, more importantly, the source. When we discuss fructose harming hormones, we're usually referring to added fructose in the form of high fructose corn syrup. This ultra-processed sweetener found in sodas, packaged snacks, and sauces delivers a massive dose of sugar without fiber, nutrients, or satiety that leads to liver strain, insulin resistance, and inflammation. all of which suppress testosterone production. But whole fruit, that's an entirely different situation. Whole fruits come with fiber, which slows sugar absorption and protects insulin function, antioxidants, which reduce oxidative stress and inflammation, micronutrients, which support testicular and endocrine health. In fact, multiple studies show that moderate fruit consumption, especially antioxidant-rich fruits like berries, citrus, and pomegranate, is associated with better metabolic health, not worse. Let's examine the evidence. A 2019 cohort study published in Nutrients followed men with different dietary patterns and found that those who consumed 2 to 4 servings of fruit per day, particularly low glycemic types, had higher testosterone levels and lower waist circumference than those who consumed high amounts of added sugar or refined carbohydrates. So it's not that sugar is universally harmful, it's that context matters. Think of it this way. Eating a banana is not equivalent to drinking a can of soda. One comes with potassium, magnesium, fiber, and vitamin B6. The other comes with empty calories, insulin spikes, and zero nutritional value. Let's address the testosterone connection more directly. When you consume excess refined sugar, it raises insulin. Chronically elevated insulin levels lead to insulin resistance, which impairs the hypothalamus and pituitary, both key players in testosterone production. Additionally, high sugar intake raises aromatase activity, an enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. That's the actual hormonal disruption most men are concerned about. But here's the encouraging news. Fruit-based sugars don't behave that way, especially when they're part of a balanced meal. Even fruits higher in sugar, like grapes or bananas, don't present a problem when eaten in moderation alongside healthy fats or protein. The glycemic load stays low and your insulin response remains steady. Now, let's discuss practicality. If you're over 60 and trying to support your testosterone, here are a few straightforward fruit strategies. Pair your fruit with fat or protein. Example, berries with Greek yogurt, apple slices with almond butter, banana with a boiled egg. Avoid fruit juice, especially store-bought. Juicing removes fiber, concentrates sugars, and makes it easy to overconsume. Whole fruit is slower, more filling, and smarter. Use fruit to replace processed sweets. Instead of cookies or sugary cereal, try frozen banana with cinnamon and crushed nuts, or a pomegranate dark chocolate combination rich in polyphenols and testosterone. Safe. Stick to 2 to 3 servings a day. That's plenty to get the benefits without overdoing natural sugars. A serving could be 1 small apple, half cup berries, or 1 kiwi. So here's a key takeaway. Whole fruits, especially those rich in antioxidants, support testosterone, not sabotage it. The real hormonal threats are excess processed sugar, insulin resistance, and chronic inflammation, not a handful of blueberries or a slice of papaya. Your body is more intelligent than internet claims suggest. Up next, we'll bring everything together. How to build a testosterone-friendly plate, how to integrate these fruits daily, and what a sample day might look like for energy balance and hormone health. Now that we've explored the science behind how specific fruits can support testosterone, energy, and overall vitality, it's time to make it practical. Because even the most impressive research means little if we don't know how to bring it into our daily routines. So let's discuss how to build a testosterone-friendly plate, one that works for men over 60, supports hormone balance, and is actually enjoyable to eat. First, a quick reminder of the 3 standout fruits we've covered: pomegranate for nitric oxide, circulation, cortisol reduction, and prostate protection. Avocado for hormone-building fats, vitamin E, magnesium, and satiety. Berries for antioxidants, testicular protection, blood sugar balance, and inflammation control. Each of these fruits addresses a unique aspect of testosterone health. So how do we incorporate them into your day? Let's divide the day into 3 parts: breakfast, midday, and evening, with flexible options based on your preferences and schedule. Morning, calm energy and hormonal support. Start your day with a meal that sets the tone, low in processed carbs, rich in fat, fiber, and antioxidants. Sample breakfast: half avocado mashed on whole grain or sprouted toast, topped with poached egg and arugula. Side of Greek yogurt with half cup mixed berries. Green tea or black coffee. Why it works: you get the healthy fats from avocado to support testosterone synthesis, the protein and probiotics from yogurt for gut health, and antioxidants from berries to shield your hormones from oxidative stress. You stay full longer and avoid the mid-morning crash. Midday blood sugar stability and sustained focus. This is when blood sugar dips or stress can spike. Keep your plate simple and grounding. Sample lunch grilled salmon or chicken breast, quinoa or lentils, roasted vegetables like broccoli, carrots, bell peppers. Side of mixed greens with olive oil and lemon. Small serving of pomegranate seeds on the side or mixed into salad. Why it works. You're combining lean protein with complex carbs, fiber, and healthy fats, plus a nitric oxide boost from pomegranate to support circulation and combat cortisol. This meal stabilizes insulin and supports both energy and focus, evening recovery, sleep, and hormonal reset. Dinner should be light, anti-inflammatory, and help wind down your nervous system. Sample dinner: stir fry with tofu or shrimp, garlic, and greens. Small serving of brown rice or cauliflower rice. His half cup blueberries or blackberries with a tablespoon of chia seeds for dessert. Herbal tea like chamomile, ashwagandha, or lemon balm. Why it works. Berries reduce inflammation and aid in overnight cellular repair. Chia adds fiber, omega-3s, and magnesium, all supportive for testosterone and relaxation. And cutting out heavy, sugary foods at night protects insulin and sleep quality, both critical for testosterone production. It's bonus weekly habits that reinforce hormone health. Meal prep Sundays: pre-slice avocado, portion berries, freeze pomegranate arils. Hydration with purpose. Infuse water with lemon, cucumber, or mint, not sugary drinks. Pair fruits with protein. This slows sugar absorption and keeps energy stable. Movement plus meals. A short walk after meals improves in sensitivity by up to 30%. A simple hormone-friendly habit. And most importantly, stay consistent. Hormonal health is built through accumulation, not perfection. Think of it this way. Your testosterone is a reflection of how your body is supported or stressed across time. The more you nourish, sleep, move, and eat like your health matters, the more your hormones respond in kind. So instead of cutting out foods in fear, start adding in the right ones with clarity, not confusion. Let's take a breath and bring this all together. Over this entire discussion, we've covered substantial ground. And if you're still here at the end, that tells me something important. You're not just curious, you're ready to take charge of your health. Let's quickly revisit what we now know. Testosterone decline after 60 is common, but not inevitable. It's often driven by inflammation, oxidative stress, insulin resistance, and nutrient deficiencies, not just aging. The right fruits can support testosterone naturally, not through magic or marketing, but through real physiological mechanisms. Improving blood flow, reducing stress hormones, fueling hormone production, and protecting the tissues that keep your system running. Pomegranate helps with nitric oxide, cortisol balance, and prostate health. It's more than a fruit. It's a circulatory ally. Avocados provide the fats and nutrients that hormones are built from. They stabilize blood sugar, lower inflammation, and fuel testosterone synthesis. Berries are antioxidant powerhouses, not estrogen threats. They protect your brain and your metabolic balance. Fruit sugar in the form of whole fruit is not your enemy. It's fiber-wrapped, nutrient-dense, and behaviorally satisfying, the exact opposite of added sugar. And finally, you've learned how to build a hormone-friendly plate, a real-world approach you can start today without cutting out entire food groups or falling for trends that leave you tired, confused, or ashamed. Here's a truth I want you to leave with. You don't need gimmicks. You don't need to be afraid of fruit. You don't need to fear aging. What you need is understanding, evidence, and tools you can trust. Because when you understand how your body works, you stop blaming it. You stop seeing every change as a failure. You begin to support it with food, with rest, with curiosity. If you've ever felt like your energy is fading, if your motivation, your strength, or your drive feels different than it used to, please know this is common and it is addressable. And often the most powerful steps aren't drastic. They're daily. They look like choosing berries over ultra-processed snacks. Adding half an avocado instead of skipping fat altogether, drinking a small glass of pomegranate juice instead of chasing a new supplement, going for a 10-minute walk after dinner, prioritizing sleep, hydration, and nutrient-dense meals. These are not small steps. They are signals to your body that it is safe, it is supported, and it can thrive. You don't have to be afraid of your body. You just need good information You deserve to feel like yourself again, and you deserve to age with strength, clarity, and confidence. So here's your one small action for today, sis. Add one of these 3 fruits to your next meal. That's it. Start small, stay consistent, and watch what happens when your body finally gets what it's been asking for. Stay curious, stay informed, and take care of yourself, sis. If this information helped you understand your health a little better, I'm glad you were here. And if you want grounded, shame-free health content, let's keep this conversation going.